Welcome to Raising Rock Climbers Uncensored. This is your reality check and home for uncensored, trusted advice. Today, we're going to be talking about finding the right coaching plan for your athlete. And takes a lot to consider because you have to make the right decisions financially, the best way, if it is the right thing for your child, if it is the right direction. There are so many elements, and today we're going to dive deep into this. I'm Marina, your host, mother of two aspiring rock climbers and wife to an extreme athlete. So we are now in the heart of finding the right coaches and the right team for both of my sons. My youngest is 12, my oldest is 19. They are both at that next level of rock climbing. And having a coach is absolutely crucial. So please go and listen to my podcast, my episode about finding the right coach and the right team. So now that we have actually found that, my 19-year-old still wants to do competing, but he also wants to go to rock climbing. So rock climbing and competition climbing, as you may understand, if your child is involved, it's quite different, right? So the training process for both of them can actually be quite different. And that's a good thing. And it's all good. But for that, you do need to understand that there will be different plans for the training process. So the team that both of my boys are on, it is a competition climbing team. However, because we are in Spain, the majority of the trainers are also professional rock climbers. I wouldn't say professional, but they are very advanced rock climbers at the rock. And the main coach, he came out and he's like, I personally cannot give you that proper plan, but this coach can. So it will be a completely different plan, I guess you could say, a different type of training on top of the training that you have with me right now. So the one that we have chosen with our team right now, and please go listen to that particular episode because there are so many different ones, particularly for this specific team. However, I do know that other teams work differently. But again, you can choose different training. So for this particular one, we decided to choose for my oldest son because he's the one that really wants to do the rock climbing on top of the competition, is that he will only be doing one actual day of training with the team, with the coaches, and then he will have other days to train on his own for the competition. And now we are adding on to that the plan and the training for rock climbing, because it is different in the fact that there has to be more endurance, there has to be other methods and technical strategies that you would not apply for competition. So what does this boil down to? First of all, you need to know what your child wants to do when they're rock climbing, right? Do they only want to focus on competition climbing? Believe it or not, a lot of competing rock climbers don't even go to the rock at all. And I mean, it's not a bad thing at all. It's not a good thing. It's not either one. But if they do want to go to rock climbing and if they want to really advance in rock climbing, it's obviously going to be quite different in that respect. So because of that, we are looking at both of these plans, but the reality is everything costs money, guys. Everything costs money. And I am breaking down an entire expenditure of what we are paying because we are starting from scratch kind of a thing, even though our kids are already really advanced and did it a lot before we got to like the next level, because this is what we're doing is we're taking those kids to the next level now. And I'm sure whoever is listening here is wondering what it takes to go to that next level, not only with your child as, in the physical abilities and the athletic abilities, but also in the support of the parent, the financial support. I mean, there's so many other things. So in this respect, because we are doing competitive climbing and my oldest wants to really get into the rock climbing outdoors on the rock, it's got a new plan. So we're now talking about an extra, $80 to $90 a month on top of the coaching that he does for the competition extra. So you need to sit down and you need to really talk to your child about, is this the right decision? Because it does revolve around spending more money. We have two kids that are doing it. So our other kid is just doing competitive climbing, but he's got another plan going on where he is in with the team a lot longer. He's got more training days. Also, what about the gym where you're going to be training? When you're training for rock climbing, and this was something that I just learned myself, I thought it was you have to go to the actual rock and do the training there. No, that's really not what it's about. It's actually about training in the gym. It's about training in the gym. So, what does that mean? Well, are they going to train in the same gym where their team is? If that's the case, great. Usually the price is all one, right? You pay per month for the gym, for the team. Obviously, it's going to be a lot more. When our kids trained on a team in the United States, it was $275 per month per child. And that it did include the gym. However, because what happens in the gym is that they need to be changing routes and having other experiences. They were constantly going to other gyms, which in the States was like $30 extra every time. In our case, times two. Here in Spain, it's not that much different. So they have their team training at one gym where we have paid. And then my kids have also joined another gym. And gratefully, that other gym has a multiple locations, but because of that, we have to pay extra. So at least now we will take that plan, and my oldest is able to use it in one of the gyms that we've already paid for. But again, all of that adds up. And when you're going to the rock, that's a whole other price, right? So I'm going to be talking about that, how much it costs to go to the rock, what is involved. So you need to have a real conversation, all of you, the entire family, whoever is involved, and understanding how important is it to train for the competition and for the rock. One, can you do the rock training on your own? Is it valuable? Is it a good investment to get even several months of the rock climbing training plan for you? These are all decisions that you need to make, and they have to be strategic as well, but also the commitment of your child has to be there, right? You need to know, is your child committed? Is this an investment that I want to make in my child? And only you and your family and your child will be able to decide that. In our case, after a lot of deliberation, and we spent over a week deliberating because they do have the competition training. How much different is it? Because now the rock climbing season is coming up. My son really wants to take it to that next level. We did decide to give it 3 months. We are committing to 3 months of training. First of all, to see how different it is, because it might not even be that different. We haven't started yet, so I will keep you posted once we do. And 3 months this way, my son will see if this is something that he really needs, if he really wants, and also for me and my husband to see how committed he is to both the competition training and the rock climbing training and the actual climbing. So again, this is something that's really important for you and your family to recognize and make that decision. I'd love to hear your feedback, your comments. How is the training going for your kids? What have you decided to do with your kids? Please share this with your friends and leave me a review if you enjoyed this episode.